What's up, everybody? Welcome to a cantankerous episode of the Center Beacon. I'm going to kind of play the part of a cranky old man on this one. So we've got multiple hangars are coming up. We had test server 3.4.0, a special 24-hour test server that wasn't really announced. You kind of just had to check the app for it and log into it. They've added the ability to own multiple hangars. There's a little button at the bottom of the screen there. You can see I'm pressing it. Additional hangars cost 7,500 gold. It's not really the main issue. You'll see that in some other videos and things that people are saying around the internet. The main issue isn't really the gold cost. I don't really have a big problem with that. The main issue for me personally is that you can see this lineup I have here. This is Hangar 1. Now I've just purchased Hangar 2. Hangar 2 is empty. I'm now going to populate Hangar 2 with bots that I already have on the test server. The problem is, as you'll see, your robots and weapons that you already own cannot exist across multiple hangars. So, in my opinion, for this to truly be a useful, valuable tool for the player to help organize his hangars and meet the challenges of, say, playing Beacon Rush and Domination or whatever it is in random mode, this isn't really going as far as it needs to help the player stay organized and to meet those changes or challenges when, say, you drop into Beacon Rush. I don't need my Zeus Fury maybe necessarily, or I don't need my Trebuchet Butch. So I'm going to go all brawlers. Kind of like I'm doing right here. I'm going to set this guy up. I forgot to put some weapons on him. I'm going to equip him up real quick. Then, say I get a long map, say I get Domination, say I get Team Deathmatch, and I do want some extra range in there, well, I could click over to Hangar 2 and have that ranged bot in there, or Hangar 1, or 3, or 4, or 5, or however you want to set it up. But again, the problem is that the robots that I have now moved from one hangar to the other, they're not in the previous hangar. They cannot exist across multiple hangars simultaneously. So if you have 4 lances, you can only put those 4 lances in Hangar 1. Hangar 2, you're not going to be able to put them in there unless you remove them from the other hangar. So you can see the problem becomes, for this thing to be truly useful, you'd have to have another set of bots that you can kind of brawl with, because we know we don't make changes that are that huge to our hangar depending on mode, map, etc. Normally it's like 4 or 5 brawlers and a range bot. 3 or 4 brawlers, a ranged bot, maybe a beacon runner type thing. So you can see here I'm switching back. The robots weren't there. This is the all brawler hangar because they've all been moved into this one. So the way that it should work is that your robots and weapons that you already own should be able to exist simultaneously across all of your hangars. This way you don't need to rebuy anything. So if you wanted to set it up for 3, 4, and 5, ideally you could have hangars set up the way that I'm proposing it, where, you could have it detailed to the map, the mode, the opponent maybe. Maybe your opponent, oh man, these XYZs dropping in. I know these guys run tons of Ansels. Maybe you got a little more splash in Hangar 3 or 4. Unfortunately, that's not how it's working. So for me, I find very limited utility in this unless they give us the ability for the same robot and weapon to exist across multiple hangars. I really think that's the only good way to do this in this current implementation, because what ends up happening is rather than spending 7,500 gold to buy an additional hangar or 2, you're just going to balance the one hangar you already have. I don't really see the impetus to purchase another hangar, unlock it. I have my main setup in Hangar 1, but because I don't have 9 or 10 lances, it doesn't really do me any good to implement Hangar 2 unless for some crazy reason I already have an excess of max level bots that are effective for another setup. Because it's not like you're going to set up Hangar 2 as like all ranged or anything. I mean, not necessarily. So the utility is currently limited. There's a couple options to play with there. If you did want to do that, you could. If you wanted to have, hey, here's my all brawler and here's my all ranged. But in order for this to really aid the player, I'd really love to see them change it to where the same bot and weapon that you already own can exist across multiple hangars. That way, hangars 2, 3, 4, and 5 can be variations on that primary hangar. That's it for this episode of the Center Beacon. I will see y'all next time.